Jai Hind viewers, welcome back to the Global Strategic and Defense News. Today we are going to discuss a very unique topic, and I can assure you of all the research and reading I have done till now, I haven't come across this topic, and that is why I told it's a very interesting topic, very unique topic, which I'm sure after the show you'll gain a lot of knowledge. And to discuss this very important topic is a very eminent persona who has who's done a lot of research in this field, and hence she has agreed to spare a valuable time for the GSDN. What we are going to discuss today is women in politics in the age of artificial intelligence. And to discuss this very unique and interesting topic is Navya Singh, who is a political researcher based in the National Capital Region. She has done a graduation from the prestigious Lady Shri Ram College. She has done a master's from the Ambedkar University, Delhi. She has done a lot of electoral research and fieldwork in Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, and Haryana during the recent Lok Sabha elections, the various elections, the municipal level elections. She's got a lot of experience in the electoral field, and she is also developing Agrima, which aims to enhance political literacy. Welcome, Navya, to the Global Strategic and Defense News.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very happy to be here.
Navya, my first question is, how do you visualize the role of women in future politics now that artificial intelligence has come in a big way? We have read about
Right.
DeepSeek, we have read about ChatGPT, just to name a few. We all agree that AI today is now a very big part of our lives.
Right. Definitely, sir. And first of all, thank you so much for especially acknowledging, the importance of this discussion, like you said, that women in politics in this extravagant age of artificial intelligence, is such a unique yet important topic in the current scenario. And since we'll be diving into the intersections of gender, politics, and technology, so let me begin by setting the context because it's important to understand the moment that we are in. And as you have rightly used the term future politics, right? How do we imagine the future of politics or future politics? But honestly, I think the future is not very ahead of us. It's already here. And the way political landscapes are evolving globally makes it quite clear that future politics is no longer, some distant idea. It has already arrived. And uh, we can take the example of Argentina. It has become one of the first countries to go all in on AI driven campaigning. And now more and more countries, especially in the global south, also are actively adopting these technologies. In fact, some of the recent research points have also shown that 2024 might be the last fully human led election cycle, which was just last year. And elections in the future, they will be increasingly be shaped by computational abilities and AI generated strategies. And this actually makes a lot of sense because when you look at how AI is transforming politics, because now it's not just some fancy upgrade anymore, it's the core of how campaigns are now built, how they are executed, and how they are adapted. Therefore, political stakeholders today are using artificial intelligence to understand voter behavior in ways that are far more nuanced and accurate than ever before. Campaigns, they are using multiple tools as well, like machine learning to analyze patterns in voting history and preferences. Then we also have natural language processing, something called NLP, to decode what people are talking about online, which is very important these days. And then we also have tools like predictive analytics to forecast that how entire communities might respond to a policy or to a slogan. And what this allows them to do is very magnificent as well because they can send personalized political messages to very specific voter groups. They can engage the right people at the right time, and they can tweak their approaches based on real time reactions from the ground and online. Um, Although traditionally political research, they used to mean surveys or in person interviews. or focus groups, all of which were extremely important, but at the same time they are quite time consuming and expensive as well. uh, but artificial intelligence can scan millions of data points, from tweets to comments to demographic stats, and what people are liking on Instagram also. And it can pull out deep insights in seconds. So that means that campaigns now exactly know that what different type of voters are caring about them, what issues they are emotionally responding to, and how to basically fine tune their messages for each micro community. But I feel like AI doesn't stop only at data analysis. It is also completely streamlining that how campaigns are reaching voters. So now we also have AI chatbots, which are handling thousands of WhatsApp conversations. There are also automated voice calls, which are mimicking the voice of real political leaders. Then we also have AI managed ad placements as well, right? And all of this is not hypothetical, because as I also mentioned that last year only in 2024 general elections, political parties they are estimated to spend around $50 million on AI generated campaign content, and that is the real number. And this demand has also given rise to a booming synthetic media industry, where a lot of startups are also working around the clock, and they're producing deepfake videos of the politicians who are speaking in multiple Indian languages. Then there's also audio messages for hyperlocal outreach. And of course, AI generated content is also there, which definitely feels human like but is completely machine made. So, to conclude, this is the scale of where we are headed, and it's only going to grow, I believe. But this is where I want to bring the conversation back to something, which is very important to talk about, like you mentioned, that women in politics, and especially in global South, right? Because while AI is creating all these advancements, it's also important to ask that who is this future being built for? Who is being empowered by these tools, and who is being left behind? And that's where this narrative becomes a bit uncomfortable as well, because while AI is rapidly transforming how politics function, we need to ask that, where do we place women in this future? And especially women who are coming from marginalized communities, indigenous communities, who are already underrepresented and structurally have been excluded. And I say that because, as someone who, like you also mentioned, that after working in three different districts, in three different states, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, where I visited multiple districts also, interacted with more than 3,000 political stakeholders. I can say that with certainty that there's a massive difference between what's promised in policy and what's actually happening in practice, especially when it comes to women's political leadership at the grassroots level. Yes, we have 50% reservation for women in local politics. That looks fantastic on paper. But when I traveled across these states, I met women, sarpanches, mukhias, who had never once been allowed to attend a panchayat meeting alone. And women whose names were on the government files, but their husbands were doing the talking, the signing, the deciding everything. So it is a deep cultural obsession with controlling women's mobility. And I say mobility, I just don't mean the ability to travel. I mean visibility, agency, and their voice. And this need, this obsession to control that how far women can be seen or heard, or even move on their own, I think this is the root of every other barrier that they are facing. And when we put artificial intelligence in this context, unfortunately, AI doesn't automatically solve these challenges, right? In many ways, it can make it worse sometimes, because when we ask that why women are not entering politics, we are not just saying that they don't simply care, right? They feel that politics is not their space, because they've never had access to information or training or mentors. And, because the moment also they show ambition, they are met with violence, especially digital violence. And with the rise of artificial intelligence, that violence is only getting more sophisticated. Right. Therefore, I feel like digital violence has become the new barrier in this political age for women in politics. And There are interconnected problems also that we need to address, like like I said, escalating digital violence. They are being harassed, discredited, silenced through AI generated content, and that leads to psychological distress, withdrawal from public discourse, and sometimes a direct drop in participation is also something that we can observe. Then on the platform side of the things, there is a lot of lack of accountability, because social media is simply failing to act. Reporting doesn't work. Deep fakes, they continue to spread. Hate campaigns, they also persist. And enforcement is weak, inconsistent, and sometimes it's often too late. And therefore, there's this research where there's this organization who analyzed Instagram's comments, and there, the women politicians, every 25th comment was extremely toxic, and Instagram was failing to act over 93% comments, right? And there was an extreme lack of implementation there. Then we also have, intersectional abuse, which is very, very visible these days. Women coming from Dalit, Adivasi, or LGBTQ and other marginalized communities, they face compounded digital abuse, because their stories, they don't trend, their trauma isn't tracked, and there are no digital tools which are specifically designed to protect them, right? So I think these are some of the challenges which are extremely persistent. But now the question is that what do we do? How do we, correct it, or at least approach towards correcting them? And I think that's where we need to talk about very three important factors. Um, First would be power, because I feel we must equip women politicians with AI tools, not just for campaigning but for governance. We can make dashboards that track real time constituency feedback. There could be a sentiment analysis tailored to gender and caste based concerns, right? Because it's so pleasing to imagine a rural MLA using AI to shape a health policy for women, right? So, that is what AI for empowerment looks like. Then second is participation, and there should be some solutions towards correcting the gender digital divide, because many women, they still lack access to smartphones, data, or even digital skills. So there could be voice based AI modules in regional languages. There could be WhatsApp based campaign training for first time candidates, and AI chatbots to assist them. So participation begins when technology meets women where they are and not where we assume that they should be. And I think the third most important thing is absolutely protection. We need AI driven systems that detect and neutralize abuse in real time. And I feel like political infrastructures, also political parties and other entities as well, they should invest in real time troll detection dashboards. There should be deep fake flagging tools and emergency legal support also, if online threats are triggered, right? So I feel we should really protect what we value. And if we truly value women's leadership, their digital safety, then, digital safety must be built into political infrastructure, because technology alone isn't empowerment. Access is, and access has to be designed intentionally.
Well, Navya, that was very interesting and informative, and I actually learned a lot. I'm sure my viewers too would have learned a lot. Before you gave the answer, I was under the
Right.
impression that elections are a very simple process where political leader gives a speech and the voter goes to vote. But after listening to you, it's a very scientific process these days. And like you rightly said, in the coming times, things will change more. So definitely,
Right.
it has been a great learning from you. The kind of experience and the kind of narration you have done actually has changed the entire narrative one had till now about how elections are held and conducted. Well, Navya, my next question to you is that historically women have done very well in Indian politics. So how do
Right.
you now foresee with AI coming in how women in India would fare in the politics?
Right. Definitely, sir. Like you said, women have historically played, pivotal roles in Indian politics, from the leadership of figures like Indra Gandhi to grassroots change makers in panchayats and local governance. And India has definitely long celebrated milestones of women's representation. But if we talk about reimagining women in future politics, I think the future of women in Indian politics now depends not only on the representation, but on agency, access to knowledge, and control over digital tools, like we discussed. And I feel again that's where AI can become a powerful game changer for them as well, right? Because we have to make sure that how can women, especially from rural areas or maybe first-time candidates, they can actually access these AI tools, right? Reimagining women in Indian politics, for me at least, means that ensuring every woman from a Dalit Sarpanch in Bihar to a trans candidate, maybe sitting in Kerala, can enter politics with dignity. They can lead with autonomy and they can govern with digital intelligence, which I feel is extremely important. So I think here the larger question is that how can women access political AI tools, right? And of course, there could be many ways to do that. There are a lot of research that is happening in the same domain. But I feel like I'd like to mention some factors which I feel are well within our reach. I think first thing could be government schemes and of course digital literacy initiatives that are going on, because programs like Digital India or Beti Bachao Beti Padhao and other SHG networks, they already engage lakhs of women across India. So we can work towards embedding AI awareness and using training directly into these platforms. So teaching women how to use campaign chatbots or AI based issue trackers or even how to safeguard their digital identities, I think it could really work out. Um, Second, I feel since India is such a diverse country, there should be more and more emphasis on local languages and voice based tools. So, voice first and screen light and tools which are available in regional languages, because it's so pleasant to imagine, for example, a Dalit women Sarpanch in Chhattisgarh using a WhatsApp bot that talks to her in Chhattisgarhi and guiding her through how to draft a campaign speech, how to address voter complaints, or how to respond to fake news. And maybe to implement that, there could be collaborations between political parties, NGOs, self-help groups, other initiatives, organizations that are taking shape these days. These entities, they can work together to provide mobile-based AI campaigning kits to women candidates. There could be tech boot camps and not just oriented towards tier one cities or cities where technology is on a boom as of now, but maybe in small towns, in blocks and panchayats where real political change begins. Then definitely, I think community tech hubs and digital vans. I find this concept very interesting because India already has common service centers, which are CSCs, and these can be transformed into political technology hubs for women leaders. Um, we can even pilot digital political vans, mobile workshops that go from village to village, training women in safe, simple, and AI powered political engagement. And I feel like there could be amazing results, right? If we are expecting the women to gain access to AI, if it's done right, the outcome would be transformational for both democracy and for social justice as well. Because first, there could be real representation and not proxy politics, right? Women will no longer need to rely on their male relatives to manage their seats. AI will empower them with real time decision making tools and making them active leaders and not just symbolic figures. There could be more safer digital participation because AI moderation and alert tools, they can help women protect themselves from online abuse and allow them to speak up confidently, right? Therefore, the result could be reduced dropouts of women candidates due to digital violence. Then there could be better voter engagement as well, because personalized or data informed messaging might help women politicians build trust with their diverse voter groups, from youth to senior citizens, and women can, set new standards of transparency and accessibility. And I feel there could be more inclusive policy making as well, because there is no policy without politics. And AI powered sentiment and issue mapping can help women prioritize that what their communities actually need, be it menstrual health or safety, water, or education. Right. So I think there is an absolute need for policies which are designed with a feminist and a community first lens. I think that is extremely important. Therefore, I feel AI is if AI is made accessible to women in politics and especially from marginalized communities, then we are not just talking about better campaigns, but we are talking about better representation, smarter governance, safer public discourse, and of course, a future of tech-enabled democracy.
Well, so rightly said, and I totally agree with you. The more women acquaint themselves with the technology, the more it will be easier for them not only to play a more active role in politics, but also for their own well-being. And I totally agree with you. Whatever is written on social media, it really affects one
Right,
psychologically. And I, having faced it, so I totally agree with you on every point that you made. And Navya, my last question
right.
to you is that. With the kind of immense experience you've had in working in three states at various level of elections, having interacted with over 3,000 political stakeholders. So, what advice would you like to give to women on the cusp of carving a political career for themselves?
Yes, right, right, sir. So to every women who are, right now standing at the edge of their political journey, I'm sure they're unsure whether to take that leap or not. So, to all these women, I want to say that your voice definitely belongs here, right? You don't need to come from a political family. You don't need to have perfect English or maybe flawless social media. But what you need is pure conviction, curiosity, and a deep connection to your people. And I feel that's way more powerful than any dynasty or any degree. So, having said that, I think there are three very important things that I would like to mention. First, don't wait to feel ready. Start where you are because no one ever feels fully prepared to enter politics. And of course, especially women with immense, familial burden that they have. But politics is not about perfection. It's always about showing up. So start small, right? Attend your panchayat meetings, speak at community gatherings, try to follow issues that matter to you, and most importantly, ask questions. Right, because every big leader that you see today, they once stood where you are, full of self doubt, but determined to step up. Second, like we mentioned throughout the session, that use of technology, right? And use technology to your advantage. Please don't fear technology because you don't need to be a tech wizard to use AI tools. Start very simply. Use WhatsApp to organize your community. Learn how chatbots work because you will be surprised how they can help with speeches, campaign planning, even voter reach out, and they can save a lot of time for you as well. Then join a local or maybe online program teaching digital tools for women because there are a lot of online programs as of now that they are going. Therefore, I feel like if women will be more invested in using technology or AI, then they can level the playing field also. Third thing I would like to mention would be that build a circle of support and not just mentors, but sisters in the struggle as well. Because politics can be very isolating, but it doesn't have to be. Because if you connect with other women who are, contesting elections, share resources or maybe ideas and emotional support, then, you're not alone. And women, when they rise together, they just don't win seats, they change the system, right? So, my last advice would be that please don't fear to expose yourself. Right? There are many support systems. There are so many opportunities. There is a lot of guidance, and also a lot of political parties have also started with fellowships. Various organizations are giving fully funded courses to women in politics. So, maybe keep an eye on those and just be active. And most importantly, don't feel like politics is not your territory, right? It is definitely your territory, and trust me, it's not that difficult.
Well, Navya, that was very educative, very enriching session, and really, I learned a lot. I'm sure my viewers too would have learned a lot, and I totally agree with you when you said any big personality today was once at the place where you are today. So, very lovely words you have said. Viewers, I'm sure you must have learned a lot from this very interesting session. I request you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done till now. Forward this interview maximum, like the interview, and most important, give your comments, because your comments actually help the global study in defense news, plan for the future interviews. We come to know how you have liked the present interview, and it gives us more confidence to try new topics. Like I said in the beginning, this is a very unique topic, and I really thank Navya that she spared a valuable time. She came on GSDN. Thank you so much, Navya. It was so interesting listening to every word you said. Thank you so much.
No, sir, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for inviting me. And like I said, thank you so much for acknowledging that, this discussion is worth it. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.